Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Derek, fitness blogger and author and creator of The Hidden Secrets of a Fitness Professional. So I'm making this video today to talk to you guys a little bit about my journey on hitting ketosis and pretty much overall why I decided to want to hit ketosis. So, I did a couple measurements and I took my weight, and it probably may mean nothing to you guys because I'm a slim guy, but whatever. So I weighed in today at 188 pounds, took my measurements, and I did the scale, and it says that I'm roughly around 7.3% body fat, right? That's actually really not bad. Some people would be like, well, why are you trying to go on a ketosis diet? Like, are you trying to lose weight? Like, I don't get it. Are you doing this for vanity purposes? No, I'm not doing it for vanity purposes. I'm doing it more so for a bit of a social experiment and pretty much to relate to anybody who does go on diets and says, well, it's too hard or they're not sure what to do. And also to prove a lot of people wrong that just because I'm a slim guy that works out doesn't necessarily mean that I can 100% eat whatever I want. Like, somewhat true, but there's still long-term effects of that. Like, I still could get diabetes, I still could catch cancer. Like, there's more long-term health benefits and reasons of why I'm trying to do overall ketosis diet. So guys, according to my blog, ketosis is a metabolic state categorized by a raised level of ketone bodies in the body tissue, which typically pathologically in a condition such as diabetes and maybe in the consequence of a low carb diet. So guys, I don't have diabetes, at least so I think. Last time I went to the doctor, I was pretty fine, but pretty much hitting ketosis is a change and a shift in your metabolism where you pretty much, instead of using carbs for energy, you use fats and ketones for energy. Ketones, guys, is when the liver breaks down fat into glucose, and when that happens, ketones are formed. So the ketose diet primarily is, to reach true ketosis on a ketose diet, you want to consume 90% fat. So 90% of your meals are just going to be fat based, 8% protein and 2% carbs. Now that's non-realistic to the average individual, but that's kind of what it is. On a more realistic aspect, you want to consume 85% fats, 15% proteins, and about 5% carbs. Now this is more approachable because the first way you will literally be eating no carbs, like barely any carbs, and there's carbohydrates in damn near everything that we eat. And the whole concept of ketosis, of why they want you to cut carbs, is, and in my theory, most people who put on weight, they put on weight because of the extra amount of sugar that they're consuming, and they're consuming the extra amount of sugar because they're consuming it through a liquid instead of eating it. Meaning most people consume their carbs through beverages than actually eating them. So yeah, you could cut stuff out like bread, grains, oatmeal and stuff like that, and yeah, it will work. But let's say you're a caffeine junkie and every morning you have to have about 2-3 cups of coffee, and you're adding all kinds of creamer and then even refined sugars, even raw sugars. That right there is a way of how you're getting extra weight. Or if you like to drink a lot of soda, if you like to drink juice, everybody has a vice. If you drink alcohol, beer, these are empty calories and they are packed full of sugar. I have a vice for candy. Like, I love candy. I'm always eating candy, but it's packed with sugar. We put on about 160 pounds of sugar a year. Like, overall is about 160 extra pounds of sugar that the United States is putting on just due to sugar. And sugar's in everything, bro. Like, damn near everything. So since our diet is our diet is heavily meat based and heavily carb based, that's why we have all these cardiovascular issues that are going on right now. So the reason why I've been into the ketogenic diet more so is because, one, this is actually how our bodies are supposed to really sustain food and deliver nutrients. Like, if you think about the times of hunters and gatherers, do you really think we was eating as abundantly and as frequently as we were? No, we weren't. We were eating in short periods of time, and we were eating a certain amount of food, in that short period of time, and then we went another long period of time without eating. This is where intermittent fasting comes in, where when you go onto the ketogenic diet, you can also implement intermittent fasting. The whole point is to deprive yourself of food for a certain amount of time, so then when you do eat in a window of when you're supposed to eat, your body absorbs all the nutrients and then distributes it in the right way. Also, back down to the whole concept of the hunter and gatherers, we wasn't eating meat as frequently as we may think we was. Do you know how hard it is to like hunt, let alone like catch the animal, kill it, skin it, and then you have to feed not just yourself but multiple people? And then back then, how were we preserving food? This is before we decided to preserve foods with like salts and like ice. Like, no, we had to pretty much eat it right then and there, and we wasn't eating an abundance of this. We were surviving on a lot of plant-based materials, plants, herbs, fruits, vegetables, and we developed our civilization by water. So we were eating like crustaceans, like crabs, fish, shrimp. We was eating all of that stuff. So that's why the ketogenic diet is something that I've been focusing on, because when you do the research and you understand how it works, and you really think back to how we like sustain life for so long, this is pretty much really what it is. Like, everything, it has to be done in moderation. Yes, I totally understand that. Even in this, and it's giving you the moderations of what to do. The reason why we're consuming a lot more fats is because a lot of people are very inactive. In today's society, you're sitting down working in the office for 8 to 10 hours, you're driving for multiple hours, especially if you live in California. You're just gonna be stuck in traffic regardless for 2 hours, and we're eating this shitty food. Lack of activity, and then everybody's angry, son. Everybody's angry. Everybody's life is going through something. Everybody has some type of issue going on, and that affects our body, and that affects our health. It really does. And then a lot of us, we comfort eat or we stress eat, and if you remember what I said earlier, mostly everything we eat has carbohydrates in it. So you're just consuming carbs, lack of activity. That's how we get obesity and all these cardiovascular issues. You get what I'm saying, though, guys? So the shift is pretty much we consume more fats, and we consume more fats by, eating like, more fish, beef, pork. Now, beef, pork, chicken, and stuff like that. These are also foods that did help us get into the state of where we're at, because we was also, we're eating too much of it and too much protein. Like, I don't know where this, protein thing came from, where everybody just has to have, protein shakes. Everybody has to just be chugging down and consuming a whole bunch of protein, because, protein builds muscle. Well, protein, too much of it, also can get stored as glycogen, meaning fat, all right? That's what happens. Like, sugar, glucose, stored glucose is called glycogen, and that is the extra fat that we have that we don't like. Eating a lot of protein will still turn into glycogen. So it's like, yeah, protein builds muscle, but it also can make you fat. That's why people who would just drink protein shakes just to drink them, I would tell them no, not to do that. Like, the science behind protein is when protein is broke down into branched chain amino acids, and that's how we fuel the muscles. You get what I'm saying? That's how we start building the muscles, through the protein being broke down into amino acids. So if you consume a whole bunch of protein, it's gonna get broke down into amino acids, but your body can only consume so much at one time. So that extra protein is just getting stored as fat. That's why the ketogenic diet is trying to switch that concept, switch your metabolism, and pretty much say we're gonna use fat now for a form of energy. So if you're a person who has extra fat, that's what you want, all right? You want your body to pretty much eat at that fat and then build muscle at the same time, because you're still consuming a moderate amount of protein. And protein, yes, will help build the muscles, but we have to deplete ourselves of our carbohydrate intake so we can get rid of all this sugar. All right. Once we and it's pretty much like a detox. Like, you know, if you start getting on a ketogenic diet, the first week or two is gonna feel like pretty crazy because you're going through a detox. You know, you're getting rid of all these sugars. You're probably getting rid of some water rate. That's why you want to consume a lot of sodium when you're taking when you're doing a ketogenic diet, because carbs retain water. So when you're depleting your body of carbs, you can get dehydrated. But if you consume, you know, magnesium and potassium, and you also consume some. So yeah, guys, just consume a little bit more sodium, and sodium retains water, and that can help a little bit with the dehydration. Just also, again, everything is done in moderation. But yeah, guys, you know, if you have any more questions, just, you know, drop a comment, slide a DM, feel free to ask. And that's pretty much why I'm doing this ketosis diet. You know, I'm trying to see if I could get my blood sugars evened out. You know, especially in the black community, high blood pressure is big, and I don't really do the best when it comes to staying consistent on a diet, because yes, my metabolism is fast, and yes, I cheat all the time. Like, I eat pretty much whatever I want. But the longevity, for longevity purposes, it's a habit that I'm trying to break myself out of. I'm trying to discipline myself to make better choices, and to pretty much train my body to want and stay to eat like this. Like, I don't want to necessarily, because your metabolism is going to slow down as you get older regardless. All right, I don't want to be older and then one day I wake up and I have high blood pressure, I have some, like, all these kind of cardiovascular issues, and I was like, oh my god, like, I was in shape like 10 years ago or 5 years ago. Like, as a personal trainer, I hear that all the time. Like, I was in shape 5 years ago, 10 years ago, like, this was like the best out, this, that, and the third. Something happened, and then boom. Like, yeah, I'm trying to prevent all that, nothing happening to me, like, just getting sidetracked. You know, life is gonna throw stuff at you all the time. That's really no excuse. And I'm trying to take accountability on, like, yeah, it's no excuse. Like, everybody has their issues, but, you know, if you really want the longevity purposes of health and wellness, you do what it is that you got to do. All right, guys, I'm out.